I'm Bianca. I am the founder of Vine of the Soul Retreats, and today I'm here with my colleague Rosa, who is gonna help me answer some of the questions that most of you have around our retreat center and ayahuasca in general, and maybe some other psychedelics. Let's see where this conversation goes.
Hello, Bianca. So tell me a little bit more about you.
Oh, the difficult questions. Who am I? I think it's one of the questions that is most difficult to answer, and I think all of us are on a journey of seeking, and I'm not an exception to that. Of course, I have a story, I have a name, I have so many things that I call my own, a body, thoughts, all of that. Who am I really? I think I mentioned it, a seeker, as most of you, a seeker of joy, a seeker of happiness, a seeker of health, a seeker of information. I want to know things about things. So yeah, that's how I describe myself today. Let's see tomorrow.
So tell us a little bit more about this particular retreat center. Tell us about Vine of the Soul.
Thank you. Yeah, Vine of the Soul is my soul child because Vine of the Soul was born out of my own healing journey, out of my own struggles and my own difficulties. I have a history of depression and seeking healing. It didn't come from mainstream medicine. It came from many alternative healing methods. And on this journey, I also find ayahuasca and psychedelics in general. And that was definitely a catalyst that have catapulted me into my healing journey so much. And this is why I want to offer this to other people as well, for those who are ready.
And what is the differentiator between Vine of the Soul and other retreat centers around Europe?
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for that question. What we do very differently is a lot of preparation and a lot of integration, because this journey is not about just taking a cup of ayahuasca or having a mushroom journey, but it's really about what do I do with the insights. It's really about what do I bring to the medicine? How do I prepare for that journey? What do I need to do to prepare my body in an optimal way? What do I need to do to prepare my mind, my psyche, my energetic field? There's many aspects to it. It's not just like you can give a cup of ayahuasca to someone and here you go, you're all healed. That's not what's happening. But there's a rigorous preparation that we will help you with. And there's also a lot of integration happening even long after the retreat. We are there for you. We are always available. And another aspect that we are building more and more is community. How do we get you to a place that you can have other people around you to share your experience, to grow in this space together with others? So we're there for you all the way. That's our biggest differentiator.
So you're telling me, if I hear correctly, you're telling me that what we hear out there, that coming and drinking ayahuasca, it's not 10 years of therapy in one night?
I actually I'm a little bit resentful about that saying, because no, it's not. As I mentioned, ayahuasca can be and psychedelics in general, a very powerful catalyst, but no amount of ayahuasca will change your life. You change your life. You need to do the integration. You need to embody the teachings. You need to do all of the things afterwards that you've learned during the medicine journey. But we're there to support you in that.
So you also offer integration after the retreat. And this, you would say, that is the main differentiator and what kind of sets you out.
Absolutely. We're there with you all the way to hold your hand through all the ups and downs that you're going to go through.
Okay, so why would I choose to come to Europe, for example, instead of going to South America, where the medicine was born?
I'm not going to tell you to do either way, but here is why I would choose this retreat center as opposed to going to South America. Again, the preparation and integration aspect. The people in the Amazon, they have a completely different language framework around these experiences. Of course, for them, for the shamans there, for the people living in the Amazon, they are very connected to nature. To them, it's absolutely obvious that the plants have a spirit, that the animals have a spirit. The ancestors are whispering to them in their dreams. And that's the language framework that they use to help you make sense of your experience. We also use that language, but we have two extra dimensions to that. The one is the psychological language. Let's see where it hurts. Let's see What can we do for you to understand yourself better? We're going to guide you. We're going to ask questions. We're going to poke at you a little bit to see what's happening for you in a psychological point of view. But also we bring a little bit of the scientific aspect. What's happening in your body? What's your neurochemistry? What's happening there? Adding these modern tools and the new wisdom combined with the old wisdom. So we go a little bit of an extra mile as compared to what's happening in the Amazon in general.
Okay, so what are the values of Vine of the Soul? What is the mission of Vine of the Soul? Why would we come here?
Well, there's two major values. I like to keep it simple. The one of them is safety. Your safety goes first, because these experiences can be quite traumatic. Also, especially with ayahuasca, there are a lot of contraindications. So that's part of our screening process, to look at what's happening in your life, what's happening for you physiologically, are you taking any kind of medication? So we have a screening process to ensure your safety, but also your mental safety, helping you to open up just as much as you are ready to go, to guard your boundaries as you need it, but also just provide a space where you can be vulnerable. And then also safety after the retreat with the integration part. We're still there for you. We're going to hold hand for whatever is happening for you. Now, the other big value for us is integrity, just walking the talk. Every one of my team members is striving to just embody that integrity. That doesn't mean we're perfect. I was making a joke that I would like to do some t-shirts that say, "Trust me, I'm a guru." We are not. We're not gurus and we're not perfect. So certainly, but we walk that path. We walk that path of integrity, and we might learn and we might stumble sometimes on our path. But whatever we project to the outside, we are also embodying on the inside.
Okay, if I'm choosing coming to this retreat, can you talk a little bit about the structure of the retreat, or what can I expect coming in here?
Yes. Can I take you one step back, because you also asked about mission?
Yes.
So let's talk about the mission. First of all, of course, we are here to help people heal, but we also, all of us, also believe that the world needs a shift, and there's a spiritual awakening happening in our world. I think that many of us feel so caught, trapped in the rat race, and are looking for new solutions. And that's also part of the medicine. How can we even envision a better future? Most of us do not see that. We watch the media and we could cry. But I think for every one of us is our personal journey and our collective journey. We need a vision of the future. And that's what we are trying to also offer.
What's your vision of the future?
Oh, don't get me started on that one. I think that we have an incredible potential in our days right now. I always say to people that you should watch the Good News channel. The technologies that are arising are absolutely incredible, and they could really create a utopia for us in the next coming 20 years. There's also the side of the spiritual awakening that I see happening. More and more people meditate. It's not just about psychedelics, of course, but more and more people meditate. More and more people do mindfulness practices, yoga practices. We realize that we are missing a component. We are so left-brained. We are so logical and structured, and we are missing that creative aspect, that part of us who is open to the mystery and to something that we haven't seen yet. And I think that's a very, very important aspect of how the future could unfold. Let's imagine a better future, and unless we are able to visualize it, we cannot create it. And it starts here. It goes for us, every one of us personally. And then what is our contribution to the world? Well, what is that thing that only I, or only you can put into this world?
And now we chose to come here. What would we expect? And what's the big difference between, I saw that you have 2 different retreat centers. What's the big difference between both retreat centers? So now that I chose Vine of the Soul, I see that you have 2 retreat centers. What are the main difference between those 2 retreat centers?
Absolutely. We are very fortunate to have opened the second retreat center. And the second retreat center, I'm going to start with a story here. The second retreat center has been born out of people asking for, hey, you have an excellent product here. Can you offer also a little bit more luxury? So to make it very easy, our retreat center in Portugal is more of a budget retreat. So we strive to keep the prices very low. And our retreat center in Valencia has a little bit more luxury, has a little bit nicer accommodations and things like that. The level of service that you're going to receive is absolutely the same. However, the surrounding is a little bit different.
And okay, I decide to go to any of the retreat centers. Can you talk to me a little bit more about the structure of the retreat so I know what I expect when I come in?
Yeah, absolutely. We have indeed a little bit of a difference in the structure of the retreat itself. In Portugal, we have a lot of flexibility in terms of there's a 4-day window where you can have anything between 2 and 4 ceremonies. And the structure is Thursday we always have ayahuasca, Friday we have ayahuasca, Saturday people can choose between ayahuasca and psilocybin as it makes sense in that moment, which is a conversation that we have with them. Sunday is San Pedro Day, and then Monday people can leave. Any combination within these 4 days is possible. Let's say for first-timers, if you never had psychedelics before, you don't know what to expect. You don't know how many ceremonies you're going to need. You don't know whether it's going to be overwhelming, whether it's going to be tiring, how your body's going to react, or you're going to be exhausted after a ceremony. So this is why we want to give people this freedom, and we ask commit to 2 ceremonies, and there's good reasons for that. But then anything else is up to you. And if you feel like you can do more work and deeper work, you're welcome to do it. Of course, we have people coming from all over the world, and we also have to make sure that it's worth their flight. So this is also one of the reasons why I want to offer a lot of flexibility, but also not overwhelming them. And it's a pay-as-you-go type of thing, in the sense that you do pay for the 2 ceremonies that we ask you to commit to in advance, but anything else, you just pay as you go when you're here. So no financial risk, everyone gains.
So you talked about the 2 ceremonies. Why is it important that we commit to 2 ceremonies and not only one?
Yes, because especially with ayahuasca, so often we see that the first ceremony tends to be very heavy, mentally, physically, on the body. There's a lot of purging, somatic release happening generally, and one of them tends to be lighter. You don't know which is which. Sometimes the medicine is very intelligent and very clever, and sometimes if you're a little bit anxious, the first one might be the lighter one, but then you still want to do the more shadowy type of work, whatever is there, because that's why you come, to do that work, to undo those things that are holding you back from exploring your potential, from being happy, from being joyful, from being at your peak, right? So you do want to do kind of both, right? Having the fun and seeing the joy and the beauty and the love, opening the heart and all of that, but also do the more shadowy work. This is why we ask you to commit to 2 ceremonies. So, and everything else then is optional.
And now a little bit about the retreat center in Spain. Is the program the same, or it differs a little bit?
It is similar in the combination of medicines that we offer. However, there we have a day which is meant for rest and other activities to give you more time to integrate. So it's the pace is a little bit slower in Valencia. And because we think this is very, very important to have things a little bit settled down. I always have this analogy of imagining psychedelics is like shaking a snow globe. And then you have to allow it to settle a little bit, to fall back into places as it needs to. And this is why we integrated a day of rest into that retreat. But the other things are similar. So we have Thursday we have ayahuasca. Friday people can choose between ayahuasca and psilocybin. It makes sense to kind of check in. Is it very heavy on my body? Then I might want to go with the psilocybin, or do I want to continue the work with ayahuasca? Then we have a day of rest and integration. There's talks happening. There's other activities like art workshops or sweat lodge. There's a pool in Valencia. You can just chill out by the pool, a wonderful garden, just connect to nature. And then on Sunday, we have the San Pedro Day. And then, of course, we need time for integration, which is going to happen Sunday evening, Monday morning, and then by noon people can leave.
All throughout the ceremonies and the days, do you have space also to share what you experience during the ceremonies, or how does it goes?
Absolutely, that is part of our offering. The sharing circles are very, very important. As I say so often, it's not about taking a cup of ayahuasca, it's what you do with it, sharing your experience, being vulnerable, opening, having different perspectives from different people, be it the other participants or the facilitators, is so important to make sense of your experience. And we do care a lot about the sharing circles. That is not negotiable. Everyone is in the sharing circle. And of course, everyone shares as much as us or as little that they want to. For example, Rosa, when we have groups of people who are a little bit more introverted, we have exercises that are meant to have people talk without getting very personal about their journey. So talk about more general topics and things like that. So we are very mindful about that, of course, but the sharing is very, very important. And then sometimes there are people who are not yet ready to share so much with the group, and this is why we have one-to-one conversations with everyone and see what's happening for them, ask the questions, poke at them a little bit. Can we show you maybe pointers into different directions? See what resonates with you, because we believe in the intrinsic wisdom, gnosis that every one of us has, and we try to bring that to the surface.
Thank you so much for all the clarification. And I know that you're a really creative person. Is there something cooking that you're excited about?
Oh, yes. I have many projects that I'm excited about. There's a new type of retreat coming up. We're going to do it twice this year, once in August in Portugal and once in December in Valencia. And that is more of a retreat for beginners, where if you have never had a psychedelic experience, let's start with altered states in a different way, with breath work, with meditation, with Kundalini awakening. Some friends of mine and me are doing this together, and you yeah, are doing this together, and we're gonna have a San Pedro day and a mushroom day. But we're going to adapt the dosage to everyone in a way that it's a very light experience. Kind of test out for you, is this something that I want to do? Is this something that I want to, that resonates with me? So that's one of the things that I'm excited about this year. Together with some hypnotherapist colleagues of mine, we want to create a platform where we're going to plug in many people from different specialties, like therapists, counselors, nutritionists, human design specialists, and you're going to have a central person that you're going to talk to, with whom you're going to evaluate whatever it is that you want to work with, and then that person will give you recommendations. Do this to solve that presenting problem that you came with, and we're going to help you find those specialists within our network. So there's one central problem here. There's the person coming with an issue, with a situation, and everything revolves around that person. A little bit like going to your GP, and your GP is going to send you to the specialists that you need to see for whatever is happening in you. But obviously, these are alternative methods that we are using. We do work with GPs as well, but also with the alternative world, because usually by the time people come to us, they have tried the things and it didn't work, the mainstream things, and it didn't work.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward for more interviews with you.
Yeah, totally, me too.